Divinity Original Sin has some of the things that I love the most in gaming: huge explorable worlds and tactical turn-based combat. And considering that an upcoming game in the Divinity series will have turn-based combat, I thought it'd be fun to show some other games that embody the things that make Divinity Original Sin so much fun. Let's start with a classic that doesn't get mentioned enough. Arcanum of Steamworks and Magick Obscura is a bit of a cult classic, really. It has a really cool setting, a fantasy world that is currently going through the Industrial Revolution. So, alongside magic, you'll see various technologies, guns, and you even begin on a Zeppelin. This was the first game from Troika, a studio that would go on to make Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. The original, not Bloodlines 2. It's balanced around turn-based combat, but it gives you 3 different options: a real-time with pause mode, turn-based mode, and a faster turn-based mode. But combat isn't the only way to play the game. You can actually resolve a lot of even the main story conflicts through diplomacy if you have the right stats in persuasion and charisma. You can even see changes in the way that people talk to you depending on your beauty stat. They might be much nicer to you if it's high enough. Or if you have points and intelligence, you might just find other ways to do things, so the game actually rewards you in fun and interesting ways depending on what you decide to do and how you build your character. Of course, you could just murder hobo your way through the entire game as well. This is a game that, while it isn't perfect, I would highly recommend to fans of Divinity Original Sin, and you can play Arcanum on PC through Steam and GOG. Another game I would recommend is Solasta in the upcoming Solasta 2. If you're a fan of the gameplay, Solasta shares roots with the tactical combat of Divinity Original Sin, though they play out in pretty different ways in practice. Solasta is based on D&D, specifically SRD 5.1, and as such you have a ton of choice in the way that you play the game. In some ways it harkens back to the old school Dungeons & Dragons dungeon crawlers, giving you the ability to fully customize your team. Solasta 2 especially leans in a bit more to the storytelling and gives you a ton of freedom in the way that you explore the game. There's currently a demo for Solasta 2 on Steam, and it will be releasing in early access in March 2026, so you can play Solasta 2 on PC then, or wait for the full release. Until then, you can always play the original Solasta. There are a lot of people who talk about how great it is, so you can't go wrong either way. This next game might seem to come a bit out of left field, but hear me out. Shining Force is a fantastic series of games that I love greatly, and that I think more CRPG fans should go and play. It gives you the freedom to explore the world, tactical combat with some good depth, and fun secrets to find with optional recruitable characters that you can miss out on if you aren't careful. And Shining Force 3 is a giant epic story spanning 3 scenarios that are each as long as most games. 2 of those were only released in Japan, but fan translators made it possible to play it all in English. This was a hugely ambitious game, and each scenario covers the ongoing war from a different perspective. Depending on the choices that you make throughout each scenario, different things can happen, especially in the final scenario. There are optional battles, characters can be dead or alive, and different NPCs can appear or not appear depending on your choices. There's so much to this game, and it's a shame that most of it didn't make it to North America officially. You can play it right now through fan translation on the Sega Saturn. This is a game that I will never stop recommending, especially to fans of Divinity Original Sin. Pathfinder: Wrath of the Righteous is an incredible experience. One of the main things that make it unique are the paths that you're able to take, giving you a very different playing experience depending on what you choose. You can take the path of light, become an angel, the path of darkness, become a demon, or many things in between. There are even secret paths that may take you places you never thought you could go. But really, the moment-to-moment gameplay and the various stories that you experience along the way is what I love the game for. The characters in the world are a joy to get to know. There are so many fun locations to explore. If I could only recommend one game to fans of Divinity Original Sin, it might be this one. And it's a long journey too, clocking in at over 100 hours if you take your time and go through the side quests. That's without the DLC. So go pick this one up, play it if you haven't. You can play Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous on all modern consoles and on PC. I feel like one game that is especially worth mentioning now is Pillars of Eternity, both 1 and 2, and the reason that it's more worth mentioning than ever is that they're bringing a turn-based mode into the first game. Right now it's in public beta. You can swap between the two modes if you want. Not quite with the click of a button just yet, but they're considering making that an option. Regardless, Pillars of Eternity is a fantastic world to explore. Both of the two games offer something pretty different, with one taking place on land, the other one allowing you to explore various islands on a ship. This is Obsidian in their element, with deep RPG systems and a ton of customization and choices to make, and it even has a bit of choose-your-own-adventure feel to it at points that I really appreciated. You can play Pillars of Eternity on all modern consoles and PC, and Pillars of Eternity 2 on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. For the last games, I'm taking you on a bit of a sidetrack, a little bit away from fantasy. In the post-apocalyptic wasteland, I'm talking about the first two games in the Fallout series. These are huge RPGs with a ton of locations to explore, fun characters with a wide variety of backgrounds, and tactical RPG combat. Fallout 1 and 2 have so much to them that I feel a lot of people have overlooked because of how old they are, but they actually hold up really well. They have their own unique style that's been the inspiration for lots of different games, but above all, these are just fun games to play. I think fans of Divinity Original Sin will appreciate a completely different setting to get stuck into, with a lot of the quirky humor and strange characters that both of the series are known for. You can play both original Fallout games on PC through GOG and Steam. So there you go, 6 games that are like Divinity Original Sin, and actually quite a bit more if we count all the sequels. But of course there are always more games, so if you have any suggestions for games that are like Divinity Original Sin, make sure to mention them in the comments. For example, I didn't mention Baldur's Gate 3 because it's a bit obvious, but if you haven't played it, you should definitely check that out. It's one of the best games of all time. For more suggestions of games and videos about RPGs of all kinds, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.